Hi, welcome to another episode of SGTV. I'm Neil McManus, Technical Engagement, and I'm here today with Sam from eVolt Electrical Limited. Sam, welcome.
Hi.
We're here today to talk about the route that Sam's chosen to become an electrician. So, when you left school, Sam, what route did you choose to become an electrician?
So I was lucky enough to get sort of introduced into it by my stepfather, who was in the trade at the time, working commercial electrics. And I was lucky enough to have a conversation with his boss at the time, who was offering apprenticeships, and had a chat with him, sat down and discussed it all. And yeah, lucky enough was lucky to bag one of those apprenticeship spots. So I went through that.
Who did you do your apprenticeship with? Was it college or JTL centre?
It was Chichester College. Yeah, so yeah, it was really good actually. So we did 4 days at work and day release, I call it, day release at the college centre. Yeah, it was fantastic actually. It was really good, really good.
And so, if you were starting out in the trade, how would you go around finding the right employer?
I'd probably say it's phoning around and sort of getting to know the business and seeing what they do. You've got commercial, domestic, railway services and stuff like that. So there's all these different routes and opportunities you could take. So it's actually finding what you want to do. I'd probably say get to know the company, talk to the employer. You might not like them, you might not like what they do, so it might not be for you. So it's
do some good research before you go find out about a company.
Absolutely, well, you should do that anyway for an interview, shouldn't you? Yeah, sort of do some background research and get to know what they do, who they are, and see if you can add to that. Yeah.
So when you're a young person on an apprenticeship starting out in that as an electrician, how do you stay focused on your apprenticeship? When I remember when I was doing my apprenticeship, I was on a YTS apprenticeship, and I was getting I think it was like £50 a week in payment. Okay, it might have been a while ago, but £50 a week. And what I always found is, as an apprentice, you don't get paid as much as someone who may be working in a factory in Asda, Audi, and there's nothing wrong in that. But how did you stay focused when others around you were earning
It's really
more money?
hard, isn't it? It is really hard. But it's one of those things that you just have to stick at. And I think you just have to focus on the end goal, because you know what you're going to do, what you can earn, and the potential, what you could do with the qualifications. It's all about, some people do these, I can't remember what they call them now, but basically you'll offer your services for work just for the experience for
like
free.
The work experience.
Yeah, so it's like a work experience sort of thing. So you do an internship, that's it.
Yeah.
But, and you'd gladly do that for the experience, but with the apprenticeship, okay, it's not great, but you're getting paid.
Yeah.
And you're getting the experience and you're getting the qualifications and you're learning stuff that's invaluable. And, you look where you can go with it, all these different opportunities that will come. And you get, I know it's not a lot. Yeah. I know it's hard to stay motivated, but it's better than nothing, isn't it?
The finished product, which is like you now, who's a director of your own firm, involved and going from strength to strength.
Exactly, yeah. So it's definitely focus on the end goal and just remember why you're doing it.
I remember, I weren't the best studier at school. How do you prepare for your exams and your MVQ portfolio?
It's chucking yourself into it, isn't it? I mean, I remember I was 18 at the time, so, what's that, 12, 14 years ago now. But it was just getting yourself into it. If there's anything you didn't know, you should research it, look it up, go through the book. You got the wire and regs, or you got an on-site guide. You've got people you work with that you can ask information. Read it up, brush up on it. It's always, I'm good with my hands. I'm like that. It goes in, but I learn more with my hands. So actually doing it, asking questions when you've been installing something, building something, it goes in a lot more for me. And I think I find
by asking questions and doing, you learn a lot more.
Yeah, I benefit a lot more from that.
Did you find the MVQ side of things difficult, or?
It was different, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's difficult, because you're having to write up on everything you do, and there's different stages, and you have your your on-site meeting, and you have to discuss everything and analyse everything from top to bottom, and it's quite intense because you're not used to doing it. Because when you're doing your apprenticeship, you're doing 4 days on. You're just doing it and you're asking, and it becomes natural to do something. But then when you're going in your MVQ and then you're having to write everything down. It's a bit of a weird process. It's fine. You just got to break it down, but it's a bit of a weird process. But it's easy enough. You just got to take it from stage and just
like keep a diary of what you're doing, collect photographs regular.
Exactly. Yeah, photographs are absolute key. Take photographs and maybe whilst you're doing it, note it.
And what about preparing for your AM2? That's a question a lot of apprentices ask. What is it? You know, it's like, for me, it was like taking your car. Is it going to pass its MOT or not? And it's an MOT on you.
It's a nervy one because you don't really get chances, do you, in the AM2? It's like you pass or you don't. So it's one of them. So I think going into it, you just got to be calm, really. I think you can overthink everything. As soon as you start going overthinking, you slip up. I remember going there and it was like, you know, safe isolation and testing, you know, prove that it's, you know, that the testers work before you test and stuff like that. You know, you get one of those steps wrong, that's it. So you just got to really calm, you just got to analyse everything, just go through it step by step. And if it helps, maybe just even that, the safe isolation process, just keep doing it. It becomes a regular thing.
So it becomes natural to you. But so it's practice and prep. It's the things.
Yeah, because otherwise you go in there and you're like, oh my God, it's my M2, panic, fail. And then your mind's not in it. You need to just forget you're in an exam and just go for it.
And there's a lot of people out there. And I know SGTV will do a session on this moving forward to help people. Sam, good question is, what's the top bit of advice that you would give to a new apprentice?
I would probably say it gets better, is my advice, if I'm honest with you. It gets better because I remember when I was an apprenticeship, I was thinking, is this right for me? Am I doing the right thing? You know, the money situation, it's tough, it's not easy, and it's grueling work, isn't it? Let's be honest. And when you're an apprentice, I must admit, back when I was an apprentice anyway, you're a bit of a skiv on the job, you know, you do the hard labour and you do the bit of the boring work really, but that's part and parcel of what we do. You learn from the bottom and you work your way up to the more technical thing. But it gets better, is my advice. Just stick at it because it is the best thing you can do, and you just take every bit of advice that's given to you and take it all on.
But all that where you said where you're learning as an apprentice, that's all skills that now you've got your own business. In meeting a customer, the communication skills you've got in leaving a tidy job pride in everything, you've learned that through your stages of your apprenticeship.
Absolutely, yeah. And you're still learning now. I mean, I'm a director of a business now, but you're still learning. There's things, it's an ever-changing environment and an industry we work in. So you're learning constantly.
Constantly. Never stop.
Yeah, so it's great. Stick at it.
So, on what we've just discussed, what's one piece of advice that you was given that you would give to another apprentice?
We touched on this earlier because it's one of my sayings that I always say, and I always say to the guys that work for us that you're only as good as your last job, and I really believe in that because I think that is your job that you are doing now is as good as you are, and if you're not doing it as good as you are, then you ain't going to get another one.
That's right.
And I really believe in that. I really believe that you are only as good as your last job. So you make sure everything you do is the best you can do.
Yeah, mine was like, if you're going to do a job, do it well. Otherwise, it's not worth doing.
Exactly.
So, you know, why are you doing that job? If you're going to do it to the best of your ability.
And the implications
to your bit.
Exactly, and the implications that come with it and the things that come off the back of just that simple psychological theory, like you're going to get a call back because your pride in your work and you're proud of it and people see that you're professional and what you do. Something simple from like keeping your sockets level and I'm a bit of an OCD, so my screws are straight and everything. It's all neat and tidy.
Soldiers,
that's it, exactly.
That's right,
but that's the care that I want to do. So that is my best advice.
You only get one go at electrics to make everything look nice.
That's it, exactly. And also, just because it's hidden doesn't mean it shouldn't look nice.
No.
Yeah. So
it helps with repairs when you go fault finding if your cables all accessible, not
exactly.
So, how did you, or when did you decide to the transition from college, apprenticeship, working somewhere to set up Evo?
I just got to that stage where I was just really confident in myself and I just thought I can do this and I believe in myself now and I was ready for a challenge. I mean, I didn't start it initially just me, it was me and my stepdad, so I had that like guidance, and if I wasn't sure, I had someone to fall back on. So that was really handy. But now it's got to a stage where I'm so with it, and it's the best thing that I've done. But it was a challenge, and like when you get to a stage where you could get chucked into a job that was completely different to the one you did last week on your own, and you completely, yeah, it's fine, done it, and you're comfortable, and then you're like, I just got to a stage where I was like, I'm working for someone where I could be working for myself here. And it's not, I don't appreciate the work I'm getting with someone, but you know, I was on pennies to what I should have been, and I asked for more, and I would have quite happily stayed there, to be honest, if I got the money. I didn't, but in a way I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it pushed me to do this. So it was just challenging myself, and I just wanted to prove to myself I was good enough.
Do you feel the support you had with your stepfather behind you was gave you that extra bit of confidence?
Absolutely, because without him I might have been like nail biting and thinking, oh God, you know what I mean?
So if I'm an apprentice and I'm going to go into that, and I'm at that stage now, some advice might be, you know, to have a plan.
Absolutely,
you know,
always have a plan.
And if it doesn't work,
a backup plan.
A backup plan, So write things down and discuss it.
Definitely, overanalyze it, go over it. I mean, when we first sat down and we spoke about it, it was like, right, we're going to do this. This is how we're going to do it. This is what our plan is. And it's all just, it's trial and error, and it's exciting. It's actually really exciting. The money when you start is a bit like, oh my God, but it gets better. Again, it gets better, always gets better.
But if you don't open that door, you don't know what's behind it.
Exactly, and you can always go back, can't you? So,
that's
so
it.
it's just taking a risk. You take a risk always.
And it's worked for you.
Yeah,
which is great. Great
for
news.
now it's working.
And hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
So earlier you spoke about you started off in the commercial world, doing commercial installations in that. And with eVolt, you've gone down more the domestic line, specialising in the domestic range. Do you think there's a opportunity now where you've been talking about renewables in that you may do a transition back into the commercial side of things?
I mean, we always sort of flirt with commercial, because we still offer all services, but it's mainly our bread and butter work is domestic, because that's what we specialise in. That's what we want to do, and that's our aim for the business. But commercial job will come along, I'll price it still. We're still licensed to do that and the sign off and stuff. And it's something I'm always open to. Pardon me. With the renewable side of things, it's definitely something that I'm going to do 100%, because as I've said previously with Ben, we were talking in an earlier episode about renewables, and it's just the amount of work that will be generated from it. It's a no-brainer really to have that string to the bow. To go into that. One
of the things I've discovered lately, talking to a lot of electricians, is that the growing the demand around lighting and you know, energy efficient lighting in factories, in offices, and we've got the Avaya branding that offer the old design package for you that helps people like us who have done domestic work in the past and got this contract because the service that you've provided in the word of mouth. Do you ever use places like Avaya with their design
There
products?
is, funny enough, a job that has come up recently, where we're actually in discussion at the minute with that's just reminded me you said that, with my builder, because it's a free service, I believe, isn't it? Design. And basically my builder's got a lovely garden. It's new to me. It'd be quite nice for him to benefit out of this, and we sort of use it, and I can work out how it is and whatnot, and use it as a service. But that's, for me, that's amazing. That lighting design CAD CAM sort of work, I wouldn't know how to do it.
No, but it's there to support, because you've got the skills to install it. It's no different commercial, domestic.
It's honestly, to be honest with you, I'm surprised it's free. Because it's great, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Scolmore family group, and they're there to support the electricians. Final question then: what skills do you think are needed for any electrician? All-round skills, what would they be?
I mean, you've got your basic. I mean, you could take this as far as anything, couldn't you? I mean, obviously your basic, your English, maths and stuff, your science, of course, your physics and whatnot. But you know, I think the most important skills is your mental skills. I think just strip it down to something like your timekeeping. Don't turn up late. You know, your professionalism when you come to work, that you know that you're going to do a good job, tidy up after yourself, manners, talking to customers and stuff. Simple things like that outweigh the logical side for me. I mean, obviously, when it comes down to doing your job, you have to know to do your job. Of course you do. But, you know, if I was to walk onto a job and be polite, on time, professional, tidy, you've won the customer over before you've even done anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then
that's faultless.
yourself taking on an apprentice, you can teach them the additional skills to suit your...
Yeah, first thing I learned, never be late. Because when I was late, I didn't go to work because he drove off and he was like, you won't be late again, will you? Because you lost a day's money. Lesson learned.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
it's about the business, isn't it? And if you're giving your time and effort to an apprentice, you want someone who can communicate.
That's right.
Politeness and like you say, timekeeping. Thinks outside the box.
Absolutely. You've got to have that desire as well. I think it's really, really important to have that desire and want to actually do your job and learn. So important. You need to, don't just do it because you're being told to do it. Do it, and then if you're unsure, ask why you're doing it and why is it like that, so you can learn from it. It's so important.
Well, you've heard it all there from Sam at Evo and what he'd be looking for as an apprentice. Tune in next time to SGTV. Thank you.
Cheers.